Hello. Right now I just want to share with you a dream that I had almost 2 years ago. This dream is about a food crisis or a famine in America and possibly the whole world that could be coming very soon. The Lord has given me this dream. It's one of the most detailed dreams that the Lord has given me, and I will right now try to, from my memory, I have this written down, but I'm going to try to tell you from my memory. So please bear with me, but I'm going to tell you this, the truth. And well, here's how it started. In the dream, me and my father, in the dream I was at my father's house, and I was sitting on this swing with my father, where we were standing. He was one of the two, but we were near the swing on the porch. And at the edge of the concrete porch, there was a row of corn growing um, right here. The corn, there's about five, six, or seven real healthy corn. Um, they're just growing, really, really good. Actually taller than that. Probably, some weren't that tall, some were pretty tall. They weren't too high, they weren't too short, but they're real healthy, green, lush corn that you would see at a real healthy time of the year, healthier than normal looking corn. And we saw in the back, there's a garden in the back on the opposite side going that way, and there was a couple rows of this real dead, dried out, unhealthy corn that you would see in a drought season. And this corn wasn't looking very good at all. It was terrible looking corn. Some of it was only this tall, some only this tall, not very tall, very short, unhealthy, dead, dried up corn. And so me and my father, we didn't know what to think, because we saw on one hand real healthy green corn that was just real lush and healthy corn, and then on the other hand we saw in the back in that other garden there, we saw unhealthy corn and this dead, dried up corn, and we didn't know what to think of it. Now there was a birdhouse up north of me and my father, just a few, maybe about 50 feet away or so. There's a shed and a bird feeder on this little tree near the shed, and we saw there these birds. These birds were unusual birds. They looked like they could have been a hawk mixed with like a hawk mixed with an owl, and they were dark brown and almost like black and almost like brown, but not either of the two. They didn't look like hawk or an owl, but it looked like a mix of those two descriptions. It's really kind of hard to picture, but we don't know what these birds were. But I saw one of these birds that were up there. They were big birds, bigger sized birds. One of these birds took his beak and was pecking a hole in the ground underneath this tree, and he was planting the seeds. He was planting these seeds, and this bird was planting seeds these were the birds, or these were the seeds. This was corn seeds, and the healthy corn that was growing, was these birds were responsible for that. And I only saw one doing it at the time, but I know that the rest of the birds were doing the same thing. And these birds were like heroes to us, because these birds were the ones that were planting the food, this healthy corn. They were like heroes to us in the dream. That's how they were. Um, and then all of a sudden, I saw me and my father were standing there next to the swing near those healthy corn that were growing, and two birds, two of these big, unique birds, they were flying together, and they were each carrying with their beaks or with their claws or with both. I don't remember, but they were each carrying some kind of small game animal. It looked to be as a small baby rabbit, maybe. It was some kind of rodent game, and it represented. Well, first let me tell you, they were heading out southeast. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's the right direction. They're heading out southeast past me and my father, and they were both carrying. They were both flying close together. They were carrying this small piece of game, this small rodent game animal. And in the dream, I got an interpretation that represents meat, for God's children. And this whole dream, represents that God is going to provide for his children when the food crisis or the famine comes. He will take care of the children of God. And that those birds, I don't know the interpretation of what those birds were. I've talked about it with my father, and he suggested that maybe they're angels, and that could be true. Um, Somewhere in the Bible it talks about the angels encamp those who fear the Lord. I don't know if that's so, but God can certainly do anything. He can help us in the times that are going to come, that are going to be tough. If this dream is, if I'm not mistaken, I believe there will be possibly some kind of food crisis or famine coming to the land and possibly the whole world. So I just want to share that with you, and please be encouraged and stay close to God as we come into these rough times and possibly end times, as it's very evident. May God bless you. Please seek him every day, as I must do also. And God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.